So the Super Bowl ad for Scream 7 is already here, so I figured I had to talk about it because it's kind of Scream month for this channel, so I can't wait to get into this thing with you guys. Now I'm going to go into this assuming you guys have watched the previous trailer. This one starts out with the Mocker house on fire, something we've been seeing a lot of in the marketing for the last few months now. We saw it in the trailer already. We see a closed for curfew sign, very reminiscent of the scene in the first film. And I think this one's going to harken back not just to the first film, but also the third film, right? More on that later, but we get a shot of a corpse hanging in a theater. That's interesting. I'm excited to see how that happens. There's some shots of Sidney. There is what you can assume to be is Joel McHale playing her husband, getting killed. They tried to show him really quickly, but it seemed pretty obvious the guy's toast. We see Sidney with a gun. Obviously, she's no stranger to this. She fired a gun in the first movie. We see Ghostface in Stu's house, burning it down. Again, we saw this before, but it's a big theme of this. He's gonna burn it all down. I'm just very interested to see what this movie's gonna be like when we're actually watching it in the theater, you know? There's shots of Tatum screaming for help in the streets. Some shots of the characters from 5 and 6 that are actually returning. Which, at least we have a couple coming back, I guess. I still have really mixed feelings on how that all went down and how it was handled, but that's kind of how Hollywood goes, unfortunately. We see more footage from the previous trailer with the woman falling on the knife and Sidney in the wall with Tatum. Now that scene looks pretty interesting, I guess. I have a feeling that's going to be fairly early on. We see a shot of the Fallbrook Psychiatric Hospital. Now this is very interesting. This right here, this shot could be misleading us. You know, people are thinking, oh, that's where Stu is. And then she says, this killer's been planning this for years. We see these weird drawings on the wall. Now what's really going on here, though? Is Stu back? I'm going to have to put out a whole nother video on that topic because there's just so much to talk about there. We see Ghostface in a theater. Scream 2 opens in a theater and ends in a theater. Again, it has me reeling. I'm fascinated. Up until this month, I really wasn't excited for this movie, you know? And that's kind of how it went with Scream 5 and 6. I'm finally getting in on some of the hype for this, because I've liked pretty much every Scream movie, but I've been nervous about every one of them too since Scream 4 came out, which is now my favorite of the sequels. We see that Gale finally gets her interview with Sidney. Now, we don't know what's going to happen during that interview, if it's going to get derailed or whatnot. But Gale is pointing out during that interview that Tatum is the same age that you were when this first happened to you. There's lots of quick shots of various characters like Tatum in the street, Ghostface with a knife, more of Sidney, more Celeste O'Connor being attacked. And of course it ends with Matthew Lillard's same line from the other trailer, this is going to be fun. Now personally, I think there was one character that was missing from this trailer that we saw in the last one that I've seen some theories going around online that she's one of the killers. So McKenna Grace is in this. I know her best from Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, but she's in a bunch of stuff. Very up-and-coming, gonna be a very big actor, you can tell. And that's funny because Celeste O'Connor is also in Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and that's where I know them from. But McKenna Grace's character is seen wearing a blue plaid skirt in the trailer that was previously released, much like all of the killers in at least 1 through 4 have worn one of them. And she has no time in this trailer, so that's something else to consider. Now, these trailers aren't trying to reveal too much. We obviously aren't seeing Matthew Lillard. We're not seeing Scott Foley, but we know they're back in some capacity. Now, at this point, I just genuinely don't know how to feel. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. With them announcing that Matthew Lillard was returning, it seems very unlikely that he would actually be alive and orchestrating this and being Ghostface in this movie. Like, it seems dumb to reveal that before production even started, you know? We don't know how much involvement he did or didn't have. And same goes for Scott Foley. Because even if Stu is alive, there is no way Roman Bridgers is alive. But I do think, because Scream 5 had a lot of references to Scream, and, you know, Scream 6 obviously had a lot of references to Scream 2, college movie, the parent of the previous killer being the killer in this one, stuff like that. I'm very interested to see where this is going to go and play out. But one thing that's obvious is they're going to be using voice changers, AI voice changers, because that's how we're going to get Roman Bridges back, and maybe potentially Stu. I hope that that's not what Stu is reduced to, because kind of honestly, that would be like, you overhyped his role. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't at this point with Stu. Because no matter what you do, people are going to be like, what the fuck was that? But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this new TV spot for the Super Bowl trailer. And are you excited for this movie? What do you think about Stu? I want to hear about it in the comments below. Quick thank you to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. If you want more Ectoviolence, including exclusive videos and behind-the-scenes content, become a member by clicking the links in the description below.